Yes, we are being joined by Sanjay Singh, who's a senior journalist, Deshrata Nigam, who's a Supreme Court advocate, as well as Ashwini Dubey, who's the Supreme Court advocate. First, let me go to the advocates in this with us right now. Deshrata Nigam, my first question to you. Should this have come directly from Mahua Moitra's lawyer on his own behest? Should he have disclosed this before the court himself?
Yes, in fact, let me phrase in a different manner. Suppose I was Mahua's lawyer and I was trying to mediate between the parties, then I myself would have recused myself from appearing in the court. That is the ethics of the lawyers. However, things have changed, times have changed. People think that conflict of interest is not a big thing. And therefore, I'm sure...
Let me just interrupt here. Times may have changed, the way people have think is different. But legally, what is the accepted practice?
Accepted practice is, if I was mediating between the two parties, trying to sort out the matter, bring some kind of a compromise, quid pro quo, then I would have recused myself from appearing in that case.
Even if it is not directly linked to the defamation case where he is arguing, but in relation to another case linked to this particular case itself. These are two different cases which he is referring to, linked to the same person.
Let me answer that.
Yes.
Let me answer that. The bundle of facts are same, resulting into civil defamation and also criminal law and also the proceedings before the ethics committee. See, the bundle of facts are same, resulting into 3 different proceedings. Therefore, it is all connected. You cannot isolate the two, all the 3 of them.
All right. Sanjay Singh, how do you look at this? Elections are not very far away. Everybody's momentum was towards the 2024 elections. Is this going to be a huge setback?
In this particular case, I firmly believe that Mahua Moitra, who has had willy-nilly become a symbol of the left liberal groups of India Alliance, of the Congress party, and whosoever within the country and outside, were targeting Modi government via Gautam Adani's projects. And therefore, it is a huge setback. The echo of this setback is going to ring to not just here, but to the wider community, to the whole of ecosystem. Why I say this? Because if you look at it, and for Mahua Moitra for now, the problems are mounting by the minute, by the hour. And the explanations given by Mahua Moitra on X and also by issuing statement, if you see those statements, they're simply flourish of language, nothing more, nothing less. It is only flourish of Queen's language. And you think that, and that also reeks kind of arrogance and smugness, because there is no substance, the substantive allegations have not been rebutted, and that is not the forum actually also. This is a legal case. This is a case of morality, ethics, and legality, which will be kind of probed by the ethics committee and also by, currently to take in court of law. Imagine her lawyer, her friend kind of becomes a whistleblower. The person who actually was alleged to have gotten her passport, given her passport and login ID for parliament, turns kind of an...
Okay, we'll get to that. That's also right now subject to probe as well. Of course, a lot of questions being raised in this particular case as well. But to you, Mr. Ashwini Dubey, it's interesting to see how Justice Datta even responded in this particular case. You know, to quote him, he says, "I'm appalled. Is it a fact that you have been in touch with the defendant in this matter?" This also perhaps indicating how even the judge in this case really was taken aback by the defendant's claim.
Yes, there are certain professional ethics which are directly linked with the lawyer's profession. Once you have either appeared for other party in some of the matters, and then you cannot appear for his opponent in any other matter. This is called a conflict of interest. Bar Council of India has set out certain rules, and one of the rule is that if you have appeared for any of the party against whom you are litigating or appearing in the court, then you cannot appear it, and there is a conflict of interest. So that is why the gentleman who was appearing for Mahua Moitra, immediately this question was raised to them, brought to the notice of the court that, look, he called me yesterday and also he asked me to withdraw the CBI complaint. And that was the reason that the conflict of interest arose. The gentleman responded that, look, I have since appeared in past with him and he is also a colleague in the Supreme Court. So that is why I called. Because I do agree with Mr. Deshratan Nigam, yes, that when there are a civil defamation and civil defamation or civil cases, when that can be amicably settled outside the court. But those matters are not where there are ethics committee. Parliament's apex committee is already investigating this issue, and this issue is where the breach of privilege, the violation of the immunity granted to a member of parliament under Article 105 of the Constitution of India involved.
Right. In fact, Sanjay Singh, let me just ask you this question. And I asked you the political ramifications earlier on, but the affidavit that the Hiranandani's affidavit that NDTV has accessed, that has been produced before the court, has some very strong allegations. But I'll just get back to you, Mr. Ashwini, but to Sanjay Singh, it's not just about Mahua Moitra. As I said, it's also the political ramifications, the names, other politicians who have been named in the affidavit as having been helping Mahua Moitra. Shashi Tharoor has been named, Pinaki has been named, so you have across parties that have been named, MPs who have been named in the affidavit. Of course, their responses are not out at this point. We don't know how are they responding. But Sanjay Singh.
That presents a very amusing situation. Pinaki Mishra is from BJP, a party which generally takes a very dispassionate position inside the parliament on issues involved. Their support to the government or otherwise is based on issues. Rahul Gandhi, as it is, goes to everywhere, every part of the world and says things, and he begins, I think, he dreams and talks about Adani, and perhaps he has nothing more to talk. You see the whole spectrum of India Alliance, they have only one issue to present, and via this particular thing, they wanted to put some dent on Modi government, whose record otherwise on this particular thing is impeccable. You also have an industrialist, the only infrastructure company who made it to the big league, top 5, top 10 before the stock market crash. A meltdown to happen for Adani Group post Hindenburg report, and therefore there was a whole ecosystem. And Mahua Moitra was kind of the best representative of this whole orchestration within Parliament. And therefore, if you look at now, all India Alliance partners and TMC is completely silent. There are some source-based reports this morning.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody, despite other leaders being named as well, Rahul Gandhi, Shashi Tharoor, Pinaki, everybody still remains silent, not just due to the allegations around Mahua Moitra.
Just one line. Because they're convinced, or they think that this is going to go wrong, and this will have much wider ramification, and also this will give a huge talking point to the BJP, to the ruling dispensation here, to these elections that are happening now, and the main big election that will happen in May, June next year, only 6 months away. And therefore, when you say this, Mahua Moitra is just a person. But what Mahua Moitra has done, she has inflicted a huge injury. I don't know who all are involved in this particular thing. The wider angle of this will be played by CBI or some other investigative agencies. But this is actually very damaging for Trinamool Congress, for India Alliance and Mahua Moitra, because this is unfolding by the hour.
Right. Okay. We're totally out of time, but my one last question to either of the advocates, Deshratan Nigam or Ashwini Dubey, any one of you can take these questions. Just how unusual is it for what we have seen in the court, for judges for lawyers to recuse themselves from cases is known of, but in such high-profile cases where the defendants have gone ahead and made the allegations before the court, and the lawyer goes ahead to recuse himself from the case after such a hearing, is this unusual, or is this something that usually happens in courts?
Sneha, let me tell you one thing. Again, if I was the lawyer, I would not have even accepted the brief if I have mediated it. Recusing oneself is a later stage. The ethics demands that I should not even go and appear, not even accept the brief. That is our professional conduct and ethics, as Ashwini ji clearly pointed out.
So it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Why should you come into the picture once you've already mediated? A lawyer of the standing of the person who appeared should know that once he is mediated, he's trying to sort out the issue, and then connecting civil defamation with the criminal case, withdrawal of criminal case. These are some of the serious issues, and it appears there is more to it than meets the eye.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us to put things in perspective and to give your perspectives on this issue. These are just some very important developments in a case that is bound to have a lot of political implications inside the parliament as well as outside. Time for a short break.